That $6 can of WD-40 sitting in your garage right now could save you thousands in repair bills this year. But here's the problem. Most people only use it for squeaky hinges, and mechanics are perfectly happy to keep it that way. Every trick I'm about to show you is something I've seen shops charge $200, $500, even $800 to fix, when a 30-second spray would have done the job. We'll cover emergency fixes that get you home, maintenance secrets that prevent expensive failures, and a few places where WD-40 will actually destroy your car if you're not careful. That last part matters. Use this stuff wrong, and you'll turn a cheap fix into a transmission rebuild. Let's get into it. Number 19, unfreeze door locks in seconds. It's January, you're running late for work, and your key won't even slide into the lock. The cylinder is frozen solid. Most people either call a locksmith at $100 or pour hot water on it, which works for about 10 minutes until it freezes even harder. Spray WD-40 directly into the keyhole. Give it about 10 seconds. The formula displaces the moisture and melts the ice from inside the mechanism. Work your key in and out a few times to spread it around, and you're done. One thing though, keep a can inside your house during winter. Can't spray anything if it's locked in your frozen car. Number 18, free a stuck throttle body without removal. If your car idles rough, stalls at red lights, or hesitates when you hit the gas, the throttle body is probably gunked up with carbon deposits. Shops will charge $250 to $350 to pull it off and clean it. You can do the same thing in 15 minutes without removing anything. Pop off the intake tube so you can see the throttle plate. Spray WD-40 generously on the plate and the bore around it. Let it soak for a minute. Scrub with an old toothbrush. Wipe it clean with a rag and reconnect everything. Start the engine and let it idle for a minute. The roughness should smooth right out. Number 17, revive corroded battery terminals. You turn the key and get nothing, maybe a click. Most people assume the battery is dead and buy a new one for $180. But half the time, the battery is fine. The problem is that white or green crust on the terminals blocking the electrical connection. Disconnect both cables, negative first, spray WD-40 on the terminals and clamps. Let it sit for a minute to break down the corrosion. Scrub with a wire brush until you see shiny metal. Wipe everything clean. Reconnect positive first, then negative. The WD-40 leaves a thin film that slows future corrosion. I've seen people replace batteries, starters, even alternators when all they needed was a $5 terminal cleaning. Number 16, loosen rusted bolts without snapping them. Nothing kills a simple repair faster than a bolt that won't move. You lean harder on the wrench, it slips, and suddenly you've either busted your knuckles or snapped the bolt clean off. Now a $30 job becomes a $300 extraction nightmare. Spray WD-40 directly on the threads and let it soak for at least 10 minutes. Longer if it's really seized. The formula creeps into microscopic gaps and breaks the rust bond from inside. Give the bolt a few light taps with a hammer to help it penetrate, then try again. You'll feel it break free without a fight. This works on spark plugs too. A stuck plug can strip threads right out of an aluminum head, and that repair starts around $800. Number 15, protect your undercarriage from salt damage. Road salt is the silent killer of vehicles in northern states. It eats through brake lines, control arms, and frame rails from underneath where you can't see it. By the time rust shows on the surface, the damage underneath is already serious. After washing your car in winter, spray WD-40 along the entire undercarriage while it's still wet. Hit the wheel wells, suspension components, and frame edges. The formula displaces the water and leaves a protective coating that prevents salt from bonding to the metal. This isn't a permanent rust-proofing solution, but doing it a few times each winter dramatically slows the corrosion process. I've seen trucks in Minnesota last an extra 5 years because the owner spent 10 minutes with a spray can after every wash. Number 14. Stop squeaky door hinges before they wear out. That squeak every time you open your door isn't just annoying. It's metal grinding on metal with no lubrication. Over time, it wears grooves into the hinge pins. Eventually, the door starts sagging, and now you're looking at body shop prices to realign it. Spray WD-40 directly on the hinge pivot points. Open and close the door a few times to work it in. Wipe off any excess. The squeak disappears instantly, and you've added years to those hinges. Do this every few months, takes 30 seconds, and prevents a repair that can run $200 or more. Number 13. Free seized parking brake cables. You release the parking brake, but the rear wheels still drag. The cable is stuck inside its housing, usually from rust and old grease hardening up. Dealers will quote $300 to $400 for new cables when most of them just need lubrication. Crawl under the car and find where the cables enter their housings. Spray WD-40 at those entry points and at any adjustment mechanisms. Then work the parking brake on and off about 20 times. The penetrating oil works down into the housing and frees the stuck cable strands. If you catch it early, this fix takes 5 minutes. Wait too long and the cable corrodes permanently. Number 12. Clean mass airflow sensors the right way. Check engine light. Terrible gas mileage, rough running. The mass airflow sensor is a common culprit, and shops love to sell you a $300 replacement. But most of the time, the sensor isn't broken, it's just dirty. Now here's where you need to pay attention. Do not use regular WD-40 on this sensor. You need WD-40 Specialist Electrical Contact Cleaner specifically. Regular WD-40 leaves residue that will make the problem worse. Remove the sensor from the intake tube. Spray the delicate wire element with the contact cleaner. Don't touch it with anything. Let it air dry completely before reinstalling. In most cases, the light clears and fuel economy returns to normal. Number 11. Protect electrical connectors from corrosion. Modern cars run on electronics, dozens of sensors, hundreds of connectors, miles of wiring. When moisture and road grime get into those connections, you end up with mystery check, engine lights, and electrical gremlins that shops charge $100 an hour to diagnose. Whenever you disconnect an electrical connector for any reason, spray both sides with WD-40 before reconnecting. It forces out moisture and leaves a protective barrier. Do the same with trailer connectors, fuse box terminals, and battery cables. This is one of those habits that costs nothing but prevents hundreds in diagnostic fees later. Number 10. Unstick power windows that drag or squeak. When your windows move slowly or make noise going up, most people blame the motor, but usually the problem is in the tracks. Dirt and old lubricant build up in those rubber channels and create drag that strains the motor. Roll the window all the way down. Spray a light coat of WD-40 along the inside of the tracks on both sides. Roll the window up and down a few times to spread it. The improvement is immediate. Doing this twice a year keeps your window motors from burning out early. Replacing a window regulator runs $200 to $400 depending on the car. Number 9. Prevent exhaust manifold bolts from seizing. These bolts live in extreme heat and constant moisture. They rust into the cylinder head and snap off when you try to remove them. Broken exhaust bolts mean drilling, extraction, and sometimes machine shop work. I've seen repair bills over $1,000 for what started as a simple manifold gasket job. Every oil change, spray WD-40 on your exhaust manifold bolts and let it soak in. When you eventually need to remove them, they'll come out clean instead of snapping off in the head. This is pure prevention. 5 minutes twice a year saves a potential nightmare. Number 8, free stuck hood latches and hinges. If your hood is getting hard to open or won't latch properly, the mechanism is binding up from dirt and dried grease. Ignore it long enough and you'll be stranded with no way to access your engine. Or worse, the hood flies open while driving. Spray WD-40 on the latch mechanism, hinges, and release cable. Work the hood open and close several times. Everything should move freely again. Number 7. Remove tar, sap, and road grime from paint. That rough, gritty texture on your paint isn't dirt. It's tar, tree sap, and bug residue baked in by the sun. Scrubbing with a sponge just scratches the clear coat. Spray WD-40 directly on the spots and let it sit for a couple minutes. The formula softens the gunk so you can wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. No scratching, no damage to the finish. Follow up with a quick wash to remove any oily residue. Number 6, peel off old stickers without damaging paint. Bumper stickers, dealer decals, expired registration tags. Peeling them off leaves behind a sticky mess that seems impossible to remove. Scraping just scratches the surface. Spray WD-40 on the residue. Wait a minute and wipe. The adhesive breaks down and rolls right off. Works on glass, paint, and plastic trim. Number 5, restore cloudy headlights temporarily. Oxidized headlights look terrible and reduce your visibility at night. Restoration kits work, but if you need a quick fix before an inspection or a road trip, WD-40 does the job. Clean the lens with soap and water, dry it, then spray WD-40 and wipe it in with a microfiber cloth. The haze disappears and light output improves noticeably. It's not permanent. The oxidation returns in a few weeks, but for a temporary fix, it works. Number 4, lubricate sticky seatbelt retractors. When your seatbelt won't retract smoothly, the mechanism is usually just dirty and dry. Spray a small amount of WD-40 into the retractor housing where the belt feeds in. Pull the belt out and let it retract a few times to distribute the lubricant. The belt should snap back into place like new. Number 3, silence squeaky suspension without replacing parts. Squeaks and creaks over bumps sound expensive. Ball joints, control arms, bushings. Shop start quoting $800 to $1,500 for suspension work. But a lot of suspension noise is just dry rubber bushings. Spray WD-40 on the bushings, sway bar links, and any rubber-mounted pivot points. Take a test drive. In many cases, the squeaks disappear completely. Not every noise is fixable this way, but try this before you spend thousands on parts you might not need. Number 2, restart your car after driving through deep water. Your engine stalls after hitting a flooded section of road. The motor cranks but won't catch. Before you call a tow truck, check under the hood. Water in the ignition system kills spark. Spray WD-40 on the ignition coils, spark plug boots, and distributor cap if you have one. The formula displaces the water so electricity can flow properly. Again, wait a minute and try starting. Most of the time, the engine fires right up. Keep a can in your trunk. This trick has saved a lot of people from expensive tow bills. Number 1, we're not to use WD-40. This might be the most important part of the video. WD-40 is powerful, but using it in the wrong places will cost you serious money. Never spray it on brake components. It contaminates pads and rotors, killing your stopping power. You'll have to replace everything. Keep it away from rubber seals and gaskets. WD-40 can degrade certain rubbers over time, causing leaks. Don't use it on chains that need heavy lubrication, like motorcycle or bicycle chains. It washes away the grease and leaves the chain dry. And never spray it near your serpentine belt. It'll cause the belt to slip and squeal, and you'll be replacing it. Used right, WD-40 saves you thousands. Used wrong, it creates problems that didn't exist before. Now you know the difference. If this helped, hit the subscribe button and share it with someone who works on their own car. I'll see you in the next one.